Our bodies eat themselves if unattended. When you start to become hungry, peckish, hangry, your stomach starts to obviously growl, rumble also, or however you say it. And then gas starts to fill up. And then your body will start to shake also, because it's consuming the residual energies and retained energies from all the carbohydrates and whatever fats, cholesterols in your body, and then it takes a lot more out of your body than what you're supposed to consume at the set time, or when it's time for breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe tea time, So if it does not have any input, it will take from the inside. Yeah, if that makes sense. If you don't feed yourself, if you don't feed your mouth, it's gonna take from your body, and then you're gonna start to you're gonna start to feel drained of energy. You're gonna start to convulse, if that's the right word. You're just not gonna feel alright. You're gonna feel some tingling sensations. You're gonna feel dizzy. You're not gonna be an optimal, performable, operational level, You're gonna need to consume direly. You're gonna need to eat direly. Stat. You can't stave off your hunger. And unless you're preoccupied by something, you are doing something, then you don't really have time to eat, Suddenly, maybe your body produces some chemicals and all that, maybe adrenaline, and it kind of suppresses your hunger. You can't even drink water and all that, unless you have a good diet where it manages and controls your hunger and makes you not hungry for quite a while. One of the examples is oats or Nestum, which I've been consuming lately. Even though I'm a blackpiller and all that, doesn't mean we should stay down. We should still prioritize our health. Like one of my previous videos, I said one of the things I prioritize in life is health. I'm not gonna be like those idiots where they just work themselves till the 11th hour, like the saying, and then they look like a zombie, cranberry, what's in your head, and then they neglect their health, I might even prioritize my health more than my work, and then even if I get fired and all that, so what? If my body wants to feel good, if I want to feel good, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna start eating healthy. I'm gonna start revolutionizing. I'm gonna start changing. I'm gonna start transforming, transitioning. I'm gonna start shifting, That's what's up. Self-respect, You gotta have that self-respect. Is undeniable. It's no kidding. It's no joke. When you have self-respect, you're gonna know and you're gonna choose what's best for you, instead of conforming and catering to what people want of you and what people want to see from you and what they say, and then you should follow. Who the hell are they? Who the hell are your family members or parents and relatives to tell you such and such, and then you have to follow? Last you checked, it's your life, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly. But anyways, off topic. You could even develop some issues about your body if you don't eat for too long, or you don't constantly eat, which is kind of what I do, And it's not really because I don't want to eat, it's also because of my screwed up mental health, just like a lot of us, I'm sure. It's not really because we don't like to eat or don't want to eat, it's our mental health that kind of acts as our food, funnily enough, It gives us that anxiety, and that we don't feel hungry. It takes away our appetite. And that we can't say bon appetit, bon appetito, because it's taken away. You know what I'm saying? Mamma mia. And then gastrointestinal issues, gastric, stomach cancer, whatever. The stomach starts to eat itself also. And I think stomach ulcer hurts. I don't want to know, knock on wood. You could even have colon cancer. I don't know if it's related or not, relevant or anything, but all I know is if you don't eat, you will start to have all these issues related with hunger. You can even die of hunger, and that's what really irks me, because our meat suit, our flesh suit is hungry, and I watched a channel called Prison Called Life, go check him out. The Prison Called Life, and also subscribe. I'm endorsing him a little, so you're welcome, my guy. If you're watching this, I'm endorsing both your channels, The Prison Called Life and The Big Club. Very interesting stuff. He said our bodies are a prison, our bodies are the devil, our bodies are a cage within a cage. And if you're in prison, in a cage, a cage, and a cage, and a cage, 3 times. Triple the effects. Although, stay out of it, don't get in there. It's not worth your while, obviously. But it's just stupid. It's just ridiculous how we always have to upkeep and always have to tend to our bodies, our meat suit, our corpse. It might as well be a corpse, right? A mummified corpse, that's what it is. Because even though we look healthy or we come off as healthy and all that, but on the inside, most of us are 99 kinds of effed up. And I know there's no such saying, there's no such phrase. It's my own created, made up saying. 99 kinds of effed up. I kinda took inspiration from God of War Mimir, when he said Atreus is 9 kinds of pain, He's 9 kinds of pain. You don't need to be a genius or something to realize that when he was arguing with Kratos. Yeah, 9 kinds of pain, 99 kinds of effed up. Make it 100. Yeah. If you don't eat, you starve. You start to hurt from the inside out. You start to convulse, you start to shake, you can't really operate, you start to become delirious, you start to spaz out, you start to trip. But you can consume things that minimize hunger and all that, but you still need to eat. And yet not everyone can afford that, Some have to go off fasting. Some have to eat a little bit, maybe skip breakfast, have lunch, and then straight to supper, skip dinner as well. Or interchangeably, skip lunch, have breakfast, skip lunch, have dinner. Or have breakfast, skip lunch, dinner, supper. This is how this existence and this planetarium, this life fucks us up. Basic things, basic needs, let alone those that are impoverished. Kwashiorkor, malnutrition, lack of protein. Kwashiorkor, Kwashiorkor. You can see their bodies started to bloat, the stomach area. I think that's all the gas build up. You can see their ribs. I know I'm pretty skinny myself too. You can see my ribs slightly, but they are much worse than me, and yeah, I'm grateful that I'm in a better spot, but still, my heart goes out to them. And they wouldn't be in that situation and those greedy fucks, who, all that money and all that had been dispersed to them, had been channeled out, had been funneled out, invested in them, all the infrastructures, and enrich and better and improve and enhance their livelihoods. Even us that try to donate, we don't really know where our monies are going. It could be a scam. People create some fake GoFundMes, help me, help us, we are in this and that, and I'm not saying all of it is fake, but some are. They are faking it, they want money because they're desperate. It's a means to an end, they'll do whatever they can that rhymes. They go to the ends of the world to get money and feed themselves and splurge This is what desperation does to people. This is the dangers of being desperate. This is the danger of desperation surfacing and being widespread and being uncontrolled. This is what people will do. Anything possible to survive. That's why society is also known as a concrete jungle, because what happens in the jungle? Survival. Survival of the fittest, rainforests. That's why I see all those wild animals, the wilderness, the safari. They hunt each other, they maul and butcher each other. I know I'm probably getting a little too graphic, but I'm just also being honest. And then I also watched another video of the prison called Life. Us humans are no different, we just do it in a domesticated, quote-unquote, humane way. But it's pretty much still butchering those animals for food, livestock, mass production, this, that, these, those, the whole process, the whole 9 yards. But it's no different, we just want to paint it like it is. Because we are humans, That ain't shit. Look at us. No, we are humans, you think we are better. No, we ain't crap. We a joke, for the most part. He also said if you had seen what actually goes on in the abattoir, the slaughterhouse, we would lose our appetites. Even vegans and vegetarians, no different. You're still eating, plants don't have feelings and all that. Actually they do, that's why they still grow, but they just don't really feel it as we do. At least I think they don't really have all those nerve endings and all that like we do, which is like millions, I think, or thousands, I'm not sure. That's why whenever we get cut or we get hit or something, we feel it. But plants not as much. But they still have feelings, or maybe they're a different kind. Maybe you're right, the vegans and the vegetarians, they're right. Vegetables and all these vegetation have no feelings, but they still can grow, and you're still eating from them, they are still depletable. They can still run out if we don't grow or we don't farm. We're still the same thing as animals, We don't get to eat meat, we don't get our protein, we don't get our other things, cholesterol, fats, necessary stuff. All those nutrients, iron, magnesium, zinc, from those animals, it's a food chain. Plants are the producers, and then you got the consumers, the primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, or tertiary, pronunciation sick. It's all science, back in school, right? And then the top one is the tertiary consumer, or tertiary. Yeah. We are always taking energies from other things. We are even taking energies from one another, human beings. That's why you see introverts being so exhausted when they socialize with people, and I don't blame them. I'm also an introvert myself. I used to not be, but I became. I was a big time extrovert. I became an introvert because I was fucked up. That I didn't even ask for. But nowadays I'm quite numb, so even if I socialize, I just... And also the fact that I'm quite detached. So that's a tip for you, You just pretty much don't care, just be detached. That's the secret. Because I know introverts, they wish they don't have to socialize, and I'm not shaming, okay? I'm not shaming my fellow introverts out there. I'm just saying, as much as we don't like to socialize, we still have to, because we want to get things that we want, things that we need, and it requires us to interact with people, socialize, So whether or not we like it, we still have to do it. And the secret is just detach, don't care. Just fake it till you make it, and I hate to say that. But people that have said fake it till you make it, unfortunately they're right. Because a lot of people out there are fake. You can't be too honest, they'll exploit you, take advantage of you. So you have to just fake and make up stories and scenarios and all that. Yeah, until you make it. Even for the J word, that rhymes with rob. The J word that robs you. You know, they use AI and they filter out who is eligible, who is not. That's why it's so hard to apply for the J word, you know. It's haunting to see the form, the application form. Damn. Even though it may not use forms, it's PDF and all that, but still, it's haunting. Probably worse than sleep paralysis. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's just unfortunate and a shame that our bodies need to be maintained, need to be catered to, needs to be preserved, you know, because our life force and soul within this meat suit and encasing, this capsule, like a sausage casing pretty much, we have to upkeep it in order to in order to operate. I almost say cooperate. Yeah, I guess we need it to operate so it can cooperate. Yeah. Otherwise we're gonna starve. Otherwise, you know, it's like, it's a damn shame. And you know, humans are animals. Our kingdom is animalia, just like the animals out there. If we don't feed ourselves, our bodies will eat ourselves. Our bodies eat ourselves if unattended. It's the same with thirst. You don't drink water, you're gonna be thirsty. You can drink other beverages too, that will soothe, you know, it depends on our moods and whatnot. Lately I've been consuming a lot of sugar stuff, although it's controlled, you know, but if you look it up, sugar actually boosts your happy stuff, your happy neurons or neurotransmitters and all those feel-good hormones, is it, I think? All those endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, yeah. That's why a lot of people nowadays are addicted to sugars, sweet stuff. But I've always been addicted to sweet stuff. Whether I'm happy or sad, you know. Just like Peaky Blinders, happy or sad, sad. Okay, but I told you, it'll break your heart, already broken. But yeah, you know, some of us consume sugary stuff, but you should control it, otherwise, you know, diabetes mellitus type 1 or type 2 will surface, knock on wood. So drink lots of water to dilute and keep it under control, under checks, under wraps, okay? Yeah, that's all I have to say. We have to eat, otherwise we're gonna starve, and that's the maintenance, one of the maintenance that we have to keep in mind, besides the other things that we have to do in life, you know, as if we don't have enough problems already. And then on top of that, food is also expensive, and then we have to exhaust a lot of energy to work, you know, especially if you're in a blue collar job. There's a lot of labor, this, that, these, those, move here, move there. Just like my first job, absolutely exhausting, and I've become so skinny, you have no idea. Almost reduced to skeletons, spooky, scary skeletons, send shivers down your spine. But yeah, that goes to show that this earth is hell. This earth is prison. Whoever designed this is sick, evil, and twisted and effed up. You can go check out Gnostic Bible, Gnosticism. It's all in there. Yaldabaoth, Sakla, the blind one, you know. And then his creator, his mom, supposedly, you know. Bad boy. Someone's been a bad boy. Mommy Dearest hasn't taught him well enough. Or maybe she did. But he's so stubborn and whatever. She did not teach him well enough. She just lets him run with it and all. But actually we are like divine beings, you know. But we are trapped, you see. Prison. Trapped. Encased. Confinement. And because he wants to put all the negative energy and then also convert the positive energy within us, energies within us, and then he can feed off it. That's why you'll feel sometimes you'll get these strange sensations, tinglings and fears and all, you know, like those entities that feed on your fears. Yeah, it could be from the evil creator, invisible beings, you know. There could be a whole ton right in front of you. Ooh, I'm sending chills down your spine right now. I'm making you have goosebumps. skin crawling right now. But hey, I'm just being honest. This is how this fucker designed this thing. You better hope and pray you don't exist, or else we all are gonna fuck you up. For sure. Because you gave us hunger, you gave us thirst. We are supposed to be divine beings, but no, you give us exhaustion. You make us have to re-energize ourselves by sleeping, and all this and all that. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Be you, do you. Signing out. Adios.